Hey, what is up guys, Control here. Today's video is going to be one a lot of you probably never expected. It's on HEIMERDINGER, thrown in with Vi there obviously, to kind of show you what I think the best deck in the game is. Been talking about this basically just since patch 1.2 hit and the buff nerfs went online. It's going to be still the same in 1.3, which is the patch we're on right now. I do just straight up think HEIMERVI is the best deck in the game. I think it's really cool to use. It's definitely a high skill cap deck when compared to other kind of top tier decks like They Who Endure and Deep, for example. I would say this one's a little bit more difficult to play with a little bit more room for skill expression and I guess tech cards to really make a difference. So if you look at a list like this, it's primarily consisting of spells. It's basically just like Heimer and Vi. And then, I mean, for core minions, it's like triple monk and triple assassin. We have one Karina in there as a tech card as well, but you can just consider, you know, those 12 minions to be your core, have the 28 spells on the list. And, you know, within those spells, you can really run a lot of things that do help you in certain matchups. Like, you can also throw in Key Guardians there if you so choose, play retreats maybe. Probably not the best with just these two champions, but, or these two units as well, but still a possibility for what you could run. Another really good one is Concussive Palm. You can do that as well. And I mean, even like a third Spirit's Refuge if you want too much aggro, you know, you can do that, but there's a lot of aggro, maybe swapping the decks is good. You know, so right now in this list, the Refuge would be an example of attacks, and with like the 2 of Static, 2 of Deny, and the Karina. Those would be examples of tech from this list. Overall though, basically what this list does is you want to be looking for usually a Solitary Monk. It's like the best card you can have in your opening hand in most cases. And then Heimer or Vi if you're playing it slow lists. Basically, the idea is you play Heimer on turn 5 with full spell mana or turn 6 with full spell mana, you know, depending on which one looks better. There's some matchups, you actually want to do it on 6, so you have the full spell mana and the 1 extra mana you get on the turn, so you can utilize like a Will of Ionia or Deny alongside Heimerdinger. But you know, sometimes you're just going on Vibe, play Heimer, and then you spam your Flash and Brilliances. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. Get all the 3/1 turrets that have elusive on them and win you the game, basically. Pop off with that is kind of the gist of the list. Vi is also a really good one. You don't really have to play the Heimer on 5, and you actually win a lot of games without Heimer and just with Vi. And you know, a lot of the cards you have in the deck for reach and your early game elusive units to push damage. So that's kind of the combination of cards you use to win the game. Is Heimerdinger doing dumb stuff, and then Vi also being just a very good unit. Those are what your champions do. You get some early chip damage in, and you know, have good blockers in there with the Solitary Monk and Shadow Assassin. A lot of you know, the big 4/4s are coming around right now from the They Who Endure deck after they play the Caretaker. Then the Solitary Monk is very solid into that 4/4, which is nice, and Shadow Assassin is obviously less good, but she does draw you a card, and you know, offer herself up as a jump block, which will then allow like a Mystic Shot or Thermo or Get Excited to clear units, which is really sweet. So let's kind of talk about the units. As far as the core spells go, Thermo is definitely just like a very solid one, and one of the broken ones early, mid, late. Very good in this deck. You know, great synergy with Heimerdinger, Scales of Eye. Not much more to say about this. Everybody just knows it. It's just a good solid removal card. Mystic Shot is a 3 of. You know, not one of the best cards in the entire world, but it's very good against the hyper aggro decks right now, which is nice. That's basically the only type of list I believe I lost to. This list we are 18-5 overall, with 2 of those losses coming to hyper aggro actually at the very end of the 18-3 streak. So unfortunate, but Mystic Shot does help in those matchups. Flash is just core with Heimer, very obvious synergy. I mean, you just get a 3/1 for free basically, and it's one of the reasons why this deck is stupid, is because on turn 5 or 6 you can play like 2 or 3 flashes and just get 2 or 3 3/1 elusives that kill your opponent. Pretty dumb card, very strong though. Get Excited, very solid removal, and this is one where actually, even if your opponent say like glimpses the target that you're going to be using Get Excited on, you'll actually still get the Heimer turret if it's in play, because you get the Heimer turret off of it when you just play it right away, and the play effect is to discard a card. So as soon as you discard a card, you get that turret in your hand, which is very powerful. And you know, maybe something that's not as known about this card. So you can't glimpse it to kind of deny the turret if somebody's playing Get Excited against you. So don't do that. It's bad. Shadow Assassin and Monk, talked about this a little bit, just very solid units. Solitary Monk being very good because we don't play anything for the first couple turns of the game, so she is one of the best cards to have in your opener. Twin Discipline is a very good card at protecting Heimer from like a Thermo, for example, or I mean, just basically any unit you have, or you know, even using this card for reach is quite good as well. And you can push a lot of damage with Heimer on board with the Twin Disciplines, or even level up your Vi with it, for example. Now, it's one that I think is really nice because of how versatile it is. It's very good for defending your board and also very good for ending games, which you're going to want to be doing both of depending on what stage of the game you're at. And 2 of Deny, obviously pretty strong card. This is one that's more in the tech region now. So you should always probably run one of these, but 2 is maybe a little bit too much sometimes, so you could like cut that for like a Palm maybe, for example. Just jam like a Concussive Palm in the deck, that should be fine. But, you know, it's up to you really. Again, like these cards are all good. They all have different uses. So there's nothing really that you can say that's wrong or right about them other than, you know, maybe there's no aggro on ladders. So you don't want triple refuge, for example, or double refuge. But if there is aggro, you know, refuge is really good and there is aggro right now. So I definitely think refuge is a card that I'm happy running and one that has saved my ass countless times. Definitely a big fan of it and one that I like is a 2 of right now. We get Static Shock. This is one that's just decent in general. It also cycles itself, which is really big. Helps you ping off Divine Shields. You know, again, play around the glimpses, which is kind of a big deal right now. There's a lot of SI on ladder that does run 3 glimpses basically every single time. And then, you know, also just good removal in general for you. Also gives you decent turrets. I mean, at 4, you get the Fearsome turret, which is quite good. It's really one of the key things to note here is that the Elusive and Fearsome are 2 of the best. You can view Fearsome as like a mechanic, as kind of a mini Elusive, sort of. Elusive is, you know, can't be blocked by everything, but Fearsome is like elusive to anything that has like 1 or 2 health. So your big Elusive turrets really, or sorry, your big Fearsome turrets can't get chump blocked is effectively what that means. And why I would kind of consider a Fearsome baby Elusive. That makes any sense. Triple Will, no need to talk about that. I talk about it every single video. Will of Iamia, absolutely busting card. That's about it. Deep Meditations, hey, well, isn't it quite nice that this card now gives you the elusive turrets? Pretty sweet. Definitely a solid card in the deck, especially with all the spells. Just, you know, to draw you reach at the end of the game, give you another turret, that kind of stuff. It's just very good. Not too much to say. Just a very solid card. We get to Karina, one of the more interesting cards, I guess. I've actually won quite a few games with her, just by, you know, getting to the late game, having her solid removal kind of effect go off. And I believe this deck is from Gara Beshan. Yeah, cool dude. So I believe that's who started playing it first. And I believe this is like the exact list that he plays. You know, I was throwing lists together and chat recommended his because somebody was watching him and he had an insane win rate with it. And I'm not gonna lie, after playing it, 18-5 is a pretty insane win rate as well. So I definitely will say I'm pretty happy with that overall, and I'm not too upset with the 18-5 win rate, even with the 2 losses at the end. So yeah, overall I'd agree. It's a very, very strong deck, and I would say that this is probably the best deck in the game. Again, you can, you know, flip a couple cards in and out of here for the tech, but you know, the 35 card combo core of the list or so, I would wager is the best deck in the game. Definitely the top of tier 1, and yeah, just basically the best. I don't think I'd push it into S tier or anything, but I think that this deck is probably separated from Deep and Heimerdinger by at least a little bit for me. And I think that it's one where if you practice with it enough, you can do super, super well. That being said, I wouldn't really recommend it as like a starter deck. If you're going to craft one deck, I probably would not say to use this because it's very likely it's going to be nerfed in the next patch 1.4. Like some form of this would probably be removed. Thinking like even Heimer might get reworked to have, you know, this 3 mana turret become like 2 mana 1, so toughen, elusive, or swap, for example. But you know, I'm going to expect some part of this deck to get nerfed to knock it down quite a bit. So it already was nerfed last patch of the Vi. That being said, it was buffed with Deep Meditation too, so I mean, it's kind of a give and take. But I'm fully expecting nerfs to Heimerdinger going into the next patch, so I wouldn't say, you know, jump the gun and craft it, or, you know, spend a lot of resources learning how to play this list. But it is a very strong one, so if you're looking for like a last minute master climb and you want to really pick it up, I mean, you know, watch my VODs on Twitch if you're looking for some more games to learn from. But, you know, hopefully you can pick this up and utilize this list with some of the help I give you guys in the games coming up to master it, I guess. Yeah, overall, for your mulligan against the aggro decks, I mean, just keep like the Shadow Assassin, Solitary Monk, and removal. And I mean, against any list you think that you're going to be the aggressor, so basically anything a little bit slower. Still keep the Solitary Monk / Shadow Assassin, but then look for Heimerdinger or Vi, and, you know, those 3 mana spells really couple well with Heimer. That's about it. Mulligan's pretty straightforward. Nothing really too crazy about it. And I mean, it really is just a deck that will do very well in any case you draw Heimer or a Vi by 5 or 6. If you don't draw one of those by 5 or 6, you're going to have a hard time, but if you pick one up, you'll be fine. And if you're going to mulligan like 3 of your 4 cards and, you know, draw 5 or 6 naturally, you're probably going to get there. So don't worry too much about not getting the champ, because you will in most cases. Anyways, with that talking, enjoy the gameplay, guys. Have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. So is that just Heimerdinger, but without an Elise? It's kind of weird. This probably should not be a matchup that I keep Heimer, but I'm still going to keep Heimer, I think. Yeah, this is probably one of the worst matchups actually to keep Heimer, just because you die really fast. It's like almost exactly what this deck really struggles with is just board aggro, and I'm keeping Heimer against board aggro. So yeah, I maybe deserve to lose this game. The hard time with this deck? You mean playing with it or against it? And my deck or my opponent's deck? Pass. Okay. And those are kind of awkward cards to see. Caretaker for 7,000 damage, sure. Caretaker for 7,000 damage is in fact a good play. I think I just let him get 8 here, go Static Shock here and here, and then probably Mystic the 3-2. Let's see, we draw first. Rejuvenate our spell mana for next round, and then try to, I guess, go
Would
off.
that home slice?
Hey, Cam, thanks for the 3, man. I'm doing well, how are you doing? That is good. I think we just hit that. Pass. So if he develops enough next round, I do have to play the monk to block with. I'd really like to just pass and then have him let me be chilling with that, but that's usually just not gonna happen.
Where are you?
Aristocrats. 6, I guess, is the Heimer turn then. So I mean, we'll just see what he develops here. You can go wide enough over 2 that I just die though, so I could be getting punished pretty heavily. Can't play around that, so just don't. He draws. He's like pushing 6 as of right now, so we're kind of okay.
Nothing escapes my watch.
Sentry, sure.
Vi stands for vicious.
There can be no justice, only revenge. Treachery ends now.
Ow.
We shall return.
Yeah, that kind of hurt. I can play Refuge though, which is good. So he should heal for a decent chunk here. His direct damage to clear the Vi should be like, I guess Feast. That's about it. So we still have enough mana to do that kind of stuff. I can probably kill the Heimerdinger and actually... we probably win after this turn actually. No joke. Because our Vi just gets juiced up and I gotta play the Refuge on her, so... we're kind of just in a good spot now. Really no complaints. It's kind of actually like a turbo throw there. I really don't know why he would do that pre-combat. But okay. You also won't have 1 mana spells that are gonna like act as a ping here either, so I mean this is just good for us. There are no real negatives for this. We heal for 10, kill a Heimerdinger, get a juiced Vi. 4-1 goes into 4-4, everything's just happy. We're fine and dandy. Yep, that's about it. Could even attack with Heimer if we wanted to. I don't think there's really any point though, but that's yeah, about how difficult games are, I guess, with this list. Alternative for him was to wait till combat's over to play the Heimerdinger, which maybe would have led to a little bit of a better outcome where he at least had like a big card that could kill me, but I mean the Refuge plus Vi is kind of just like such a nutty combo, there's really not that much you can do, right? And you know, examples of that where like I do nothing early game and kind of just like have some crazy overwhelming end game are kind of why this deck is broken. Yeah, and kind of why you see people complain about Heimer a lot is just because of situations like that. Probably just play Deep Meditation, get a Will of Ionia, play Will of Ionia on the on the Heimerdinger, and then my opponent cries, and we win the game. Okay, so that was a problem because we did not get a Will of Ionia. So clearly a little bit of a mistake on my part. I apologize for that, chat. I'll try not to make misplays like that again.
The homestead.
There's the 1-2 punch.
So do this. You can't Fury the North, right? Is that ever just... I guess the Atrocity is still a thing, right? So we should let the trade happen, actually. Yeah, let's not be done. Trade happening's not bad. And playing around Atrocity is worth it. For sure worth it, no doubt. So I think according to my mathematics, my deep analysis here, we win the game. Yes, I believe I ran the numbers and I think we just win. Yeah, it's almost like Heimer and Vi are kind of a broken combo or something. Yeah.
Truly remarkable.
Kind of nuts. Do nothing all game and then win because you play Heimerdinger. Kind of good. Actually good at the game. I think that the most consistent way for you to climb right now should be Heimer Vi basically every time. I don't think there's too much to really say other than that. You know, with stuff like they who endure deep, they're like very strong decks for sure. But I feel like with Heimer Vi, you have like more skill expression, I guess. I could be wrong, like you can disagree with me, but I feel like this is probably like the best deck that you can have like the highest win rate with in the game with the most agency. Other than I guess you need a champion by 5. That's like the only bad part about it. And one of the drawbacks is like when you don't draw your champions, the deck sucks. But usually I need one. And you usually will mulligan relatively aggressively for them. I don't know if I like this or not. I feel like that's a look. Even like Shadow Assassin is not that good though, is the thing with that keep. Like she's a good 3, and then you don't waste all your mana and she can like block stuff at least, but she's not like popping for you or anything, right? It's not like she's like a solitary monk where you're doing 4 damage and just winning the game basically. 3 copies of Refuge is too many? I would say probably, yeah. You really don't want that all the time. Hey Glop, how are you? Glory Seeker, so I could let that do 5 or I could Thermo right now. If I Thermo it right now, I'm committing to passing on 4, but I kind of don't want to take 5, so I think it's okay. I'm not even like fully committing because I don't have a Heimer hand, and I mean the hand won't work for Heimer anyways, so it might be the case that it doesn't really matter that much actually. Okay, well now it kind of matters, but it's like a Heimer on 6 type of game anyways, and even though that's the case, we don't have like Flash of Brilliance anyways, so it's not like the Heimer is really going to be that great regardless. Okay. Well, I mean, I'd love to say I'm happy to see that, but I'm really not. It's quite frightening actually. I'd probably argue I should have like jump block one. It should be fine. It should be the Vi over the Heimer. Like I'm just being dumb if I want to play Heimer here. I think it's not good enough. Say my 2/3 is jump blocker for like a 5/5, I guess. It's kind of awkward. Let's do some shit like that. Enjoy sitting in the new webcam. That's cool. That's not cool. Yeah, it's actually really bad for us. I don't think there have been any shootings around me recently. I have not really been reading local news though, to be 100% honest with you, so I could be wrong. It's very possible that there have been some Surrey shootings that I am not aware about. Okay. Well, that's kind of an issue, but okay. Yeah, kind of a problem. 1 mana 5/5. Okay, also kind of a problem. Early Refuge cannot be good, I don't think. Does it have to be though? Like maybe it has to be. I just like keeping the Brittle Seal. Because then at least I have my Vi and I can do it like another time. So we can start with this. Yeah, that's not what I want to do here. I think it is probably the play. I'm gonna play 4/1 as well. I think I like that the most. Oh, did I pass when I could have attacked with that? My bad. Definitely was not right. But, you know, you guys are right. It's just asserting dominance, which is sometimes crucial. It can be very, very important to do that, just to really let your opponent know who's boss, I guess. It can be super necessary to win games. It's one of the things that I feel like gets overlooked a lot is, you know, just the letting your nuts hang kind of aspect of Legends of Runeterra. So I don't want to will any of this stuff. You can value trade with the turret here. Would probably just attack with the elusives, go from there. The fact that he can sedge my Vi is so bad. I get a static shock for next turn if I attack with this, but I lose a block for now. It's really okay to just do. So the problem with not going in on this is the Sejuani. That's always going to be good, I guess, for him, so... It's probably fine for us for now. Didn't want the opponent to sense my bloodlust. You're correct, my friends. Yeah. I think it's important, if you guys want to learn how to masturbate your opponents, you really, in a lot of cases, the best way to do that is to really just do things that your opponent would never expect, right? So passing and not taking 2 damage with the Shadow Assassin is something that your opponent will never really predict. There's a lot of things that they'll think about that you'll do in a Legends of Runeterra game, but if you really want to throw them off, you have to go that next level, above and beyond, right? And while doing that, you're going to make some plays that may seem questionable.
Bow to no one.
Of course, he had the Sejuani. I love it, dude. I love the fact that he had the Sejuani there. It's great for me. Yeah, absolutely just fantastic. Yep, super good. Am I gonna, I don't really, maybe I just like will whatever the Sejuani hits. Static Shock seems so bad first though. Could also, like, I could technically also refuge this 5, but I don't really want to refuge this round. Static Shock also doesn't really seem very good. I think it's like that. Maybe it's even there so I can clear that. That should be okay though. Definitely the 3-1 is just like, what else do I do it on is the question. That's okay. Stealth turrets are good. Like arguably a much better way to win with than the Vi anyways, right? You might just see, we might just say that like we're gonna say fuck the Vi and just play for like these type of turrets. Okay. So we're kind of dead if we don't block. Yeah, we're kind of just dead.
It's too late for you.
This is a Reckoning too, that's kind of bad. I can't really play around Reckoning either. For one's useless. I don't have enough 3-mana spells is a problem. Like I can get 9 elusive damage, but that's not a lot. Technically a 1 there and I'm not dead. Could play a Fury, then I would die. I can just will whatever he Furies us, so it's kind of okay. Sure. Is that actually for this? Not really, right? I don't have enough mana to do everything. So I can have 7 damage worth of elusive cards then. I have to replay a Heimer. 7, 10, I mean that should be enough actually, right? I'll have 9 mana available. I could drop a Heimer, go Twin Disciplines for attack. I lose any form of like a Brittle Seal, Harsh Winds, or Reckoning then though. But I'm not really winning in a lot of cases otherwise. So it's actually probably the line here, which feels disgusting, but it's probably it. The Pega Collab boys, we found the line. Is this game winnable?
Answers, I have them.
It really is not, but you know what? Hey. Never say never. So if you look, we have 13 damage worth of elusive cards and he has 13 HP. Okay. That's maybe gonna make this play not work out as well as we'd like it to, unfortunately. So I mean, our 13 damage went to 6 pretty fast, so that kind of sucks, and now we're 1 health. Okay. I can technically block everything and will the Sejuani though, so I mean maybe this isn't like over yet. It might not be done. Some would say this game is potentially a winnable one. So play the will on the Sedge, right? And then we're not dead. But I don't have a board. which is kind of okay. Like, it's not the end of the world or anything. I get another turret that doesn't matter at all. I have a monk, and then I play Karina. Karina obliterates 3, we win. It's okay. So we're not daddy, lets everything go through. I was gonna say if he plays any other cards, I can like react to the refuge, but I don't really want to like leave with one or anything. So this should be fine. Play the monk. I guess he can Sejuani me on my attack phase, right? That's kind of a problem. So he's gonna wait on that. I guess I would just open attack probably. And then play Karina after. Makes a little more sense. I'd get excited, that's gonna get net as well. So I can Karina and then do the get excited if I have to win, I guess. Brittle Seal, Harsh Winds, okay. That's kind of a problem. Yeah, we kind of don't do damage now. That's okay, I guess though. So we say okay. What's the spread looking like? Currently it looks like we're sitting at a lot of things that are dead and not a lot of things that are not dead. So I do have to Karina still first because otherwise you can just open attack and win. So we do the Karina thing, we wipe his board hopefully. He still has the opportunity to Sejuani my 4-1 and kill me with that. So we have 3, so we're gonna be 1 off lethal with the get excited. But he will have to develop a unit next round, so we're gonna have time at least. Monk is not it. Could also 5-head, get the get excited into my 4-1 and kill it.
From the savage cold.
I think we play the deep meditation first, so we pick up because we could just draw lethal here. Okay, like double get excited is probably a win. So you should probably play for that then, I guess. Do that and then do that, and that should be a dub. If we didn't get another burn spell though, I was actually probably going to play get excited my own unit there. I got exclamation mark tracker in the chat, man. If you're curious about the deck tracker. Could monk denounce my unit? I'd probably die if I monked though, right? Because if I monked, he would attack. And then you'd have Karina on board, otherwise I can't beat him. Because otherwise Sejuani will do damage because I'm at 1 health. But yeah, good game. That one was pretty sketchy though, not gonna lie. MF Quinn. Do I want to keep Shadow Assassin? I think probably not, but... Even like get excited is like probably just a good keep in this matchup. Like I could do this. It's one of those where like it's not a matchup that I really have to play that hard for like a Heimer, because it's not like he's playing a slow deck, right? So it's almost better to keep cards that are going to make it so I'm not dying. I find at least.
My shield is yours.
Okay. I feel like Will's not that great in this matchup. Maybe just discard the Will. I think maybe just taking the 5's better though. It's a little bit of a weird one for sure, where like I'm really kind of on the fence about what I want to do here, and I'm not sure if I prefer to clear or not. That's just like one of the things that I feel like you get a feel of what you want to do and like how you like really need to view the amount of damage you need to play around, and you kind of get to that point, I guess, the more that you play the matchup. Whereas for me, like usually I have a hard time like figuring out like smaller stuff like that, like whether or not I need to get excited at to live or die in X or Y matchup, just because I usually like flip-flop decks really quickly. I'm really never playing the same thing for more than like a stream or 2. Yeah, Raging Cratildo is the top tier name for sure. I would definitely agree with that. That's it's a top 5 name that I've seen on NA Masters Ladder for sure. Top 1 being the other control guy, the guy who yoinked my username. Feels weird because he goes lowercase c as well. That's the confusing part about it. Because people usually capitalize the first word in their name at least. But that guy also has lowercase c for control as well. So it is kind of confusing, and we haven't played it. I think we played against him like twice. Valor, okay. That's gonna be a free static shock for us then. For sure. Could play Hunter's Resolve, I guess. That'd be kind of frustrating into that, but I feel like we just take it. So, you know, if it works, we just reduce the damage by so much here that it's so sweet for us. Yeah, that's fine. Rangers yourself is pretty average. Can't do too much. Take it, boy.
Run them through.
Protect and strike.
Sure.
You put the positive there.
Turns out sometimes some hunter guys don't want you to kill some birds or something. Kind of unfortunate because I really do want the birds to die, but you know, that's just the way the game goes. Birds have rights too, and they do deserve to live. Sometimes.
I'll write my own story.
She's gonna write her own story. That's all you guys gotta know about that turn. So, how close do we get to killing him here? Pretty close, right? Can make it so Get Excited should be lethal for next rounds. Flash of Brilliance plus Heimer is such a ridiculously stupid combo, man. It's insane. This card, you used to be able to get cards that weren't 6+ cost. Like, it used to be any spell, so you used to get like 3 mana burst spells off of it. I remember how ridiculous that was. And, you know, I've never really have played Heimer. This is like one of my first experiences with him is playing this for these 2 days now. And I mean, I can't imagine how much better this felt to play when Flash was giving you a bunch of cheap spells. But it had to be pretty insane. So logic with this here is like I don't put the discipline on the biggest unit because I mean the way he beats this is just single combat or make it rain. They never actually run make it rain though, so you'd have to have an MF in play to do that. But to play in the combat, we go for the 4 and 6 instead of 7 and 3. And then this way you put him at 3 health, and then well, Get Excited should be a dub. Should be just a lethal, I think. Yeah, balanced champion, man. Balanced champion. Really stupid. Get Excited is just like on another level of dumb in this deck too. Obviously, the fact that you're going to be losing some cards here kind of sucks, but I mean, if you're going to be losing a card to get a 3-1 elusive turret and deal 3 damage to your opponent with, which also just so happens to kill them, it's not that bad. The TF Sedge, sure. We keep this. It's probably just this, right? Should be fun. Thermo's just pretty good early. It's like really not a bad spell. Should you go about bouncing Heimer? Probably like rework the elusive 3-cost turrets. I don't know. For all I know, they make like nerfs and buffs that really just like flip flop the metagame, and then you can just say that the eventual nerf or buff isn't necessary, I guess. I'm thinking like whether or not I want to thermo this here. It should be better into like a trapper or something instead of the 1/1. It lets him plunder. It's just kind of the bad part when I was thinking about it. Like doing it on this phase should be better usually. Into his 2 or 3 drop. And then just like save turn 4 for regaining spell mana usually. Be the plan. Sure, merchant. Okay. So this guy's got the classic plunder. First 3 turns in a row down, which is really unfortunate. It's actually one of the ways we will lose the match is him just like doing that over and over again and kind of just, I guess, fucking us up is the easiest way to say it. With the leveled Sedge and just freezing all of our units over and over again.
Fate wills.
So the trade is fine. Kind of annoying. Kind of really annoying. And there's the Heimer.
Light as air.
Double Make It Rain, really? Static Shock Make It Rain? I mean, I literally let him level the Sedge if I don't do anything here, but I don't think playing the Twin Disciplines is going to be worth it. I think just letting him do this and go for the open attack next round, level up his Sedge has got to be fine, unfortunately, but it's just, it's obviously really not the best, right? Like, we'd rather see other things happen, but I think we have to just kind of give it to him for the most part.
Let's play.
Slotbot true, so I can just do this, I guess, and then he attacks with stuff. I feel like this is better here. I don't kill the Slotbot, though, is the problem when he attacks, but I do a lot of damage to it, then I can just Heimer next round anyways. His Sedge won't be that good either. Was it to be a defensive one? But then I guess they'll just Nexus strike me and I'll cry about it, so maybe that's not the best. This should be better.
Stands for vicious.
The only way I was gonna say like the other play was better is if I went for like Heimer and then like Twin Disciplines for attack to clear the slot bot would be the line where the Heimer makes more sense, but I think this is fine. Just take the Vi stuff. Heimer needs a rework? I don't know about that. I think the turret idea is fine. It's just a little bit overtuned. I feel like the elusive one being free cost is really what the issue is, right? It's not really too much more than that. That's my perspective on it, at least. It's pretty clear the elusive turrets are kind of the reasoning why he's, I guess, a champion that's caused a lot of issues, I guess. And maybe you say for that reason he should be removed or something. I don't know if I really agree with that, though. I feel like he's kind of just a cool champion. He's definitely a unique one, which I feel like is relatively important in this game, you know? Each individual champion having some cool, unique thing to them. I at least feel like that's pretty important. That's probably not the most crucial thing for everybody, but I definitely do appreciate the, how would you put it? Not uniqueness, but, can't play Fury of the North. I feel like I just YOLO go for the level up. It's kind of not the best ever, but... And honestly, I think more often than not, playing proactively like this is probably not really going to be what leads me to wins, but I think that I'm okay with this here. The Dragon's Rage is really good at the Vi for sure. That should work. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I maybe did not mean to attack with my Heimerdinger. That was maybe just not what I was looking to do there. Yeah. You know, I won't admit that it was wrong, but I maybe did not mean to do that. Yeah, that's what we'll say. Yeah, I could have potentially meant to do something a little bit different there. You can't Sejuani here, which is important to note. You can't make a rain to do a fuck ton of damage though. No, we don't. So we don't get the strike effect off then. That's kind of weird. Is that a bug? When I strike a unit while attacking? Oh, okay. It's because we're not attacking. Sorry, that makes sense then. I can't read. Episode 45 of Control Cannot Read Legends of Runeterra cards. Welcome, guys. If you guys are enjoying this episode. So I'm going to play a Heimerdinger after I let my other one die, instead of just leveling my Heimer up this round, I guess. So that's kind of cool. Definitely kind of cool. Sure. You can do some damage to me, my friend. Ow. I'll play some meditation cards, I guess. There's really not too much you can do here that's going to be too scary, right? Like, yeah, you can yoink some of my stuff. I don't really care too much, though, about that. Let's play the meditation, get a couple other cards here. I'll be happy with that. Some burn spells are nice. I'm going to do 3-1. It's kind of whatever. Can play, like, Make It Rain stuff. That'll be kind of tragic. Could have preferred to have Twin Disciplines for that. Maybe you just say I should have actually maybe passed for a little bit there and just see what he wanted to do. Okay. Should be kind of okay. I think at least. So he will be spending mana for the most part to clear my stuff. Will, I can't really counter the Will of Ionia, so what are we doing to that? If we say okay, put him at 5, then I can replay the Vi. I can't play the Dragon's Reach with the Vi though. We can give one of my units attack, and then barrier it if he tries to remove it. Put him in 2, then Mystic Shot probably, I guess, is the play then. So do something like that then. Should be the look. It's like, okay, Vi's not connecting for 5, but that's fine. We just do this, make him play Make It Rain. In this case, the Make It Rain can still hit the Vi. Elixir of Iron. What? Okay. I mean, what? So I guess I don't really want to be proactive then. I can just like play my cards and wait. Right, like he has to do something by keeping that barrel alive to win the game with, right? If he's just gonna pass back and forth here, I can also just pass and wait for him to do stuff, and then I guess just go from there. Like this phase, for example, I can just start with Dragon's Rage sometimes, I guess, and then... Okay, Rex, so he has 4 mana left. Rex doesn't kill me. So I can just play, I guess, the Mystic Shot now, see what he does, and then... potentially just Dragon Rage if it's the case where that lives, and then go from there. Should be fine. Deny, sure. So he has no mana left, so then I can just play the kick his Rex, and then win the game.
Kindly keep your hands off
Good stuff. That's a whole phase, right? So it passes back to me here, and then my Dragon's Rage goes on acid. Also, they really need to fix that to make it so it doesn't just kill your eardrums, because that is just way too loud. And yeah, let's do the dragon kick. Let's go. It's funny, man. Those random cards from Flash of Brilliance usually suck, but sometimes you get games like that where you just pop. Good one. I mean, you can say that about a lot of things, right? I mean, like I usually do say, I mean, you see it in like the videos I post on YouTube, you see it when you watch me play on stream. I will usually fuck up like at least 1 turn per game. And I can still do well, still climb with that. I mean, it's very difficult to play perfectly, especially if you're streaming, I think. So, you know, I don't think you should really be, like I said, worried about misplaying or really, you know, feel like that's gonna just end your ability to do well in this game or anything. Because I mean, you know, look at me, like I've been ranked through Masters a bunch of times, been top 25 for like, you know, entire seasons. Got Masters really quick, peaked at like top 10 this season, and I still mess up basically every game, right? It's one of those where Runeterra is actually like a really tough game, and to play it perfectly, I think you have to be really in the moment thinking. And I think it's difficult to achieve a lot of time. You know, whether you're at home playing for fun or like you're streaming and trying to, you know, do well and climb. It's not an easy task, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And it's one that more often than not, like I'll fail at. Like I usually won't be able to, you know, play perfectly for an entire game. I'll have some games that I say I'm really happy with at the end, where I do think I played really well. But it doesn't mean that I'm playing perfectly or anything. So if I just go like Vi here, it's not really going to do that much. And the GP stuff is still going to be really strong. So I'd probably actually lead with Heimer just because I have a flash. Can't play Will or anything into it though, but I can play like the Vi Will. You guys prefer it more, to be honest. Because like the Vi, like I haven't played any cards, so she's not buffed up. I don't want to go for the Monk or anything. So it kind of leads me to just like say that I want to play Heimer here. Problem is, it's kind of like a green light for GP just to be slammed down, because I really can't deal with him right now, and that's kind of frustrating, but it's something we probably just have to deal with and give him. Vengeance, sure. Let's play a flash then, I guess. At least like 1 turret. That's about it. So obviously not the best for us, but I mean, we take it. It's fine. Playing for rank 1. Right now it's impossible to get rank 1, I think. Just because of the way that the matchmaking works. So no, not really. After next patch, I believe that they're going to be fixing the, I don't know what you want to call it, like the time it takes to climb or whatever. So I mean, I should be able to start going for rank 1 and trying to do that relatively soon. But as of right now, it's not really a thing you can do, just because the way ladder works is there's no decay, and you gain very little MMR for most of your opponents you're playing against, so it makes it very difficult to try and actually climb ranks when you're playing. I'm not sure if I did that great of a job explaining that or anything, but basically just make it very, very difficult for you to climb Master's Ladder at the moment. I like to thermo that, right? I wouldn't really like to do too much else. It might just be like Vi and 3-1 attack right away, and that's about it. And then thermo the Hecarim if he plays it. This could be really good for lethal eventually as well. It's another look that we could take a gander at occasionally. Could also play Twin Disciplines here on top of the Vi for maybe a Vi level up if we want as well. He didn't swap there. So if I do the stand united, I do 10, put him at 7. Keep my cards healthy here. I could discipline for health and then go via Vault Breaker one time. That would also level the Vi. I'd have no spell mana though.
Let's get to the fun part.
Basically, if I do anything with the spells, then I can't really thermo the Hecarim, so he gets that attack off, which kind of sucks. And it's whether or not I think the level is like really that valuable. We do push a ton of damage, but probably just say I'm okay with letting this go through and have my stuff die just so I can thermo him. I also feel like the no block is really weird. That's one of the reasons why I even like spent time talking about what I was gonna do there, was the lack of a block. So now that he's 3C the Netherglade, I think I'm just gonna play Shadow Assassin here, draw a card, and then just play Thermo on the Neverglade. So deny the drain. Should be about fine. Really don't have too many issues with that because I still have, again, like the will for the Hecarim when he attacks. Because Will of Ionia is a balanced card. It's very, very balanced. You're new in the game starting last week. Would I recommend going for a budget aggro burn or a budget elusive list? Well, depends which one you think you'd rather play, because both can get you masters for sure and are definitely good decks, but I think, you know, at that point, it's really just more of a question of what you prefer. That would be what I would say. And which should usually be the deciding factor for you in that case, I guess, is just, yeah, just a question of, you know, what do you actually like to play? This hand does a lot, but also nothing. Sounds kind of weird to say. How far I want to go protecting is fine. I have to play 2 cards if I want to level here. I can start with meditation sometimes here, but then you can play Hecarim. Actually, you can't because it's 6, right? Be Gangplank, I guess. Should still probably do it. Mystic's pretty useful too. It's okay then. Okay, so he gets a GP. That's unfortunate. That was like the problem with what I did there. It's just 6. I could just do that. This guy has 6 + 5.
I am reborn of salt and pride.
Coming to save the day.
Explosives.
Should be the look. Okay.
Return to us.
There's 3 mana now. That's like a 4 damage Vile Feast though, holy shit. So do this, just to see what else he can do. He might play Vile Feast now. The idea is we bait him into not doing that. Because then I just Static Shock the kick. And then win the game. I guess this still wouldn't be a win, right? Because he would still heal a lot, but that would be the idea at least. So I can now Mystic here and then just Static Shock, and that should be a dub, I think. This is just like another game where, like, if Will of Ionia was a little bit more expensive and maybe it was actually like a loss or one that would be harder to win, but because I was able to just like Will of Ionia as Hecarim and make it so that card's useless, it's so difficult for him to really do anything. It's just so tough to deal with it with basically any list. Unless you're like Ionia as well. It's just, I don't know, it's just a dumb card. It's so strong. Solid game though, I mean that one was like a pretty free win. Nothing to really talk about there. Just like another good solid game where, I mean Heimer's Envire just being broken, that's about it. The Shadow Assassin is probably fine to keep. She's not the best. But she's an elusive unit to answer like an Ezreal on 3 if he wants to do that. Definitely more of an interesting combo with SGP. Not really one that you'd see too often, I think. Well, I don't think Jinx is bad. I just don't think she's really the pick for like an elusive list. Most champions in this game are fine. You know, even if they're not super overtuned, they're still probably decent.
Big mission.
I don't like that. I don't think I want to get excited at, that's why I didn't just jam that there. But it's not like I can even value block it. It's kind of like the spot where you really want to have the Solitary Monk instead of the Shadow Assassin here. So you can challenge my 1/1 now, it's kind of bad. Did I ever just get excited Mystic here? Save like 6 health. Pass next phase, play Heimer with 3 spell mana, have nothing to do with my 3 spell mana. It's kind of bad. Can also kind of go in the middle and just like, if he doesn't open attack on 5, this is kind of fine then. So I go Shadow Assassin, I just Mystic the 3/1 then, and then I go for there, I guess. Next turn I basically just pass, so I have the 3 spell mana for Heimer obviously. So really the only problem with it is that like I have to do that so I get the spell mana component in online for him. And then if he open attacks, I get punished pretty heavily, but that's fine. Kind of okay with that block, so I should probably attack here. It's 2 free or a good block for us, so. Shoot. Tragic. Spell mana is just too valuable, I think. It's better to see the make it rain now than it is next round though when I have like the turrets in line, so I'm okay with that. Open here for him is probably the best line. Nope, an open, okay. So play this guy.
Smell of science.
He still has thermo mana though, so I mean he's kind of not in the worst spot ever. Okay, salesman happens instead though. That's kind of a lot of damage, so I go get excited on... I'm getting rid of Karina, I guess. It's card for stabilizing, but unfortunately a little bit too expensive here, I think. Move the Boom Crew. So the only thing I was gonna argue is like maybe just do it on the salesman, but I feel like just dealing with Boom Crew is better. Obviously he just attacks now as well. That's kind of frustrating, so I lose my Heimer now. If we lose the Heimer, we probably lose the game, but that's just the way it goes.
Round it goes.
So 3-2 into 1-3.
Hands off the merch.
Or 3-2 into 1-3 and then... Okay. I mean, I probably don't want to make that block. So we're in a good spot, but I mean, it's not like it's super doomed, I guess. I just need to find like a Vi or a Heimer and then we're kind of okay. It's one of those situations where maybe having the Karina is a little bit better as well. But I think that's, it's not like 100% over. The hand's obviously not very good, but it's okay. Just plunder at 3 out of 5, okay. I think it's like that.
You can't do this.
Play disciplines here to protect this. Probably. I kinda do need this card to get value with this refuge though, so it's probably not the play actually. But that's like, I may be reaching now. At least don't let him have another Gangplank. No, I do. It always shuffles, my bad. Sure gets the plunder off.
Take my time.
So we can't even really will the gangplank as our first action, I don't think. Okay, so he levels the gangplank. The skill should go off. So everyone just dies no matter what.
Blow him to the depths.
Have that as an option at least, though, so only take like 2. He gets to replay it though. This is where it becomes like an uphill battle pretty heavily now, where we're really not going to be too happy, I find, most of the time here. That's because, like, yeah, I can just will it again, but I mean, it's really not what we want to do at all. It's kind of terrible for us to do that, so that's not really the look ever. But it's just going to probably have to be the look, unfortunately. Start with that. Okay, all the 4 mana spells in the world, so... It's a block.
What's the water like down there, guys? Why are you here?
Don't refuge here. Gangplank's gonna take an action for him next round, so we just put a Heimer and then he's like Static Shock Will. Okay, that's kind of frustrating, but okay. At least the 3 attack units die that he attacks with. It's not gonna be Solitary Monk for the Heimer back. He also doesn't have a space for the cask, or the keg, sorry, which is kind of good. Okay. So he loses keg. I play Will. It's such a balanced card. Wump is kind of annoying. Sure. He's gonna pass in. So 1-2 hits the 4-1. I refuge that. I'm just gonna double refuge over. Shocking. Does that make sense? Not really. I mean, you can see what he blocks with, I guess. Just pass through then. So now you have a good one. Why does he pull Heimer there? That's kind of weird. So you do that, they go to 3. Or we go to 3, sorry. If I play Refuge, at least I get excited, but I always lose to that anyways, so... And Will doesn't really feel like it's a win. But I just let that go through though, and then... I guess start with the Monk next round. Monk into Heimer does not make that much sense. I technically lose though a lot of the time. I do keep, I mean... I don't have to argue that I keep the Apex Sword alive, I win is really that great. Is my problem. You can't play Get Excited in this case anyways here though, so I guess this is fine. Right, like it's relevant if he has one more spell mana, but I'm kind of sweating over nothing right now. Where like this should just be the play, I think. And I mean, it's clearly going to be a really good make it rain as well, right? And he's only played 1, so... It's not super unlikely top 16 that he has another one as well. But I think that's just like kind of something we have to give him, really. And obviously he's not very good for us, but that's just part of the game, I think, right now. Let's level up though. So we have a Will too, and we have a Refuge, so we have a lot more of these 4-cost units that we can be playing here. It's just, do we really get enough of a lead where we're going to be up and able to just hit with all of these fearsome units to just win a game? Okay, I feel like the answer is just no. Because like, yeah, I could play 2 more, that's cool, but I mean, does that really change the outcome here at all or anything? Like, I feel like it just really doesn't. Like, don't get me wrong, it's nice that we get to do this, but I just feel like it's not really gonna like lead to a win or anything. Yeah, because that can happen. Yeah. If I will the clump here, he gets to replay it, and then he can play Gangplank, I guess. Otherwise, plays Gangplank, he blocks with Gangplank, that means Static Shock will kill him, but really the threatening thing with Gangplank is just his skill, right? So am I just gonna attack now then? The skill is just always gonna wipe me anyways though, so it doesn't really make any sense to play around that, I guess. So will the Wump get another 5-2? If he plays it, it's arguably good for us. I guess the thing is he blocks like a 4-1 though, so it's like a 6-6, so the shock doesn't even clear. But I hit the keg, I guess, which is a thing. Because if he can hit the keg, then he won't like clear everything. Like we'll still have 2 5-1s usually. I guess on the flip side, those are usually what he blocks through anyways though, so maybe this whole like conversation I'm having with myself doesn't really matter in the end anyways. It's probably just the answer where like it's completely irrelevant and we're probably just not gonna get there anyways, but yeah. Put him at 8. If I play this, it doesn't change anything, or attack with it, it doesn't change anything. It's arguably just worse because then he has better things to do with it. So he goes to 6. Which is good. It's just not a win yet, so it's not great. And we have to survive 1 phase of attacking. I already used my will, so the Gangplank's gonna attack and go through, which will at least do 8, I think, because he wipes all of the units I have on board already and then connects. That's pretty nice. Yeah, actually not bad at all. It should also like always be a Gangplank look as well, right? Like that should be just the card that he plays for sure. So if that's the case, he does the 8. I mean, it's kind of bad, no doubt about that. But I mean, my question, I guess, is do I need Vi here to win? Because I want to play the Monk, I think. Monk and a Monk's not a win. Because obviously you can't have 2 up. I have 12, so I mean, I can do everything this round anyways, right, with 12 mana, so it might make more sense to just play a Vi anyways, try to block here with it, so we save some health. And go from there. Maybe we make it so the Heimer doesn't die sometimes with the Vi. I guess he would always go like 2-3 into her though, so that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's illogical. So this doesn't really feel like it does anything then. Other than save me some health, which I guess with like the warning shot and then the clouds makes sense.
Time to make some coin.
Sure. Oh no. He yoinked the flash.
Break their legs.
Okay. So it should be that. Clear the 2-3. Oh, that's maybe not that good.
Added to the doggy list.
Ever not play the Monk and then just play the meditations ever? Probably not. We kind of need the Monk and play to win, right? So it should be Monk and then the turret.
Alone.
So ways we have to win with the Monk are like Mystics, Discipline, Get Excited. Try those a lot of the time. I don't think we should really be too worried here, honestly. Like, this is kind of a good look. That's kind of scary though, and he puts all the shrooms in the deck, so maybe it's not that good of a look, because it's going to be 1-for-1 for shrooms now. And if I have to play Deep Meditations, then I have to draw the shrooms, so maybe my line was just bad where I decided to do this in this order. Because this is burst, right? He couldn't respond to playing the shrooms, so I actually probably just fucked up and shit the bed. You're joking, right? Dude. No. No. Oh. I mean, we have to do it, right? Like, there's no other lines, so that's okay, well, we're not dead, I think.
Tread lightly, strike hard.
I don't think we're dead at least, so we're not dead. Okay, so I attack with the Monk, and then he plays Make It Rain and I die. Or not. So am I supposed to play the get excited now or later? I guess because of the shrooms it has to be now. But I mean, you can always just respond to stuff with this, so it's not really that good, right? It's just the only real play we have, unfortunately. So if he just doesn't have a make a rain or any form of damage, we win. Wow. Jesus, dude. That is tragic for that guy, man. Actually, it's tragic. That was probably one of the hardest fought victories I've had with this deck so far, but I mean, what a crazy ending, dude. I don't draw the shrooms at all. I mean, we get one, but that was probably my luckiest one of the day too, and the game that was honestly the one that should stand out and be a loss most of the time anyways. But I mean, hey, we'll fucking take it, boys. We'll definitely take it.